walking by these walls, the walls that held up Beit HaMikdash, held up Rabbi. We ask ourselves when our brothers and sisters are kidnapped in Gaza, and so many of our soldiers, our children, our parents, our grandchildren are fighting so hard to defend the Jewish people, both up north and down south, and all over the world. We have to ask ourselves, where are the shuls from around the world faced? Every synagogue, every Bet Knesset from around the world is focused in one place, Rabbi, to Kodesh HaKodeshim, to the Holy of Holies. We're going to go to the closest place we can get to, next to Kodesh HaKodeshim. If Kodesh HaKodeshim is on this side of the wall, we're going to be standing across the wall right next to it. We're going to put in a prayer for every single one of our Jewish brothers and sisters, that we should see much better times very, very soon. With Beit HaMikdash built for the Jewish people and the entire world. I am standing outside Sha'ar HaRachamim. That is the only east gate to Har HaBayit. This is the place where two things happen that brought purity to the Jewish people. One, the red heifer. The red heifer was brought out of this gate, and we know that the red heifer ultimately is what brought purity to the Jewish people. The second thing is we know that on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, the Kohen Gadol was standing with two goats, two seirim. One is going to be chatat laHashem, being brought as an offering. The second one is going to be sent out of this gate into the desert, to Azazel. Zechariah promised us in the Psukim, Lachen כה אמר השם, שבתי לירושלים ברחמים, ביתי ייבנה בה נאום השם צבקות. Therefore, thus said Hashem, I have returned to Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, in mercy. That means through the gate of mercy. My temple will be rebuilt in it. We believe Zechariah. We know it's going to come, and we want it to come now. Yerushalayim, Harim Savivla. You look around Yerushalayim, and you realize that it's surrounded by mountains, just like King David wrote in Psalms, in Tehillim. We've been walking for days from Babylon and from Egypt, from Syria and even from inside Israel. And we're finally just a few hundred meters away from Beit HaMikdash. And here we come, and we see. We could buy fruits and vegetables here. We could buy fish. We could buy baked goods. Very similar to Machane Yehuda today, where you go and you have all these great shops. Then it was on our way to Beit HaMikdash. Machane Yehuda was mountains. It was all central here. Jews from all over the world gathered together in order to come and shop. And they bought what they needed in order to feed their families that came with them, in order to be able to buy offerings, if they didn't have them with them, to bring to Beit HaMikdash. These are the stairs. These are the stairs that our brothers and sisters walked up 3 times a year, every year, in order to come to Beit HaMikdash. And they're coming from all over the world in order to bring their bikurim, in order to bring their offerings of sacrifices, in order to connect to God, in order to connect to the Jewish people. Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, everybody gathering together, coming to a market, buying the fruits and vegetables that they want, coming and buying a sheep because that's what they want to offer to God. And the fact that we're able to walk on these exact stairs, walk them up literally from down by the Shiloh all the way up, and bring it to life, bring Beit HaMikdash back to life for us, so that we should know what we're missing, know what we should yearn for. and understand that it was a reality and it will be a reality. As the Beit HaMikdash is burning, the flames are going up, the ashes are going up. Our brothers and sisters, our Jewish people are asking themselves, where do we go? No matter where we go, we're being killed. Blood is flowing down. And we know the Jews even went into the sewage to hide. It brings back way too many memories of many dark times of the Jewish people, even this past year. As our brothers and sisters down south gave their lives for the Jewish people, as they hid from the worst murderers ever. They tried to hide in every way possible, in attics, in ditches, behind trees. And we stand this year with so many fresh memories of what it means to give your life because you're a Jew. Of what it means that Esav soned et Yaakov. That no matter how much we try, Esav will continue hating Yaakov. And to see the exact place that the Jewish people were hiding inside these sewage tunnels. And to think that that's something of the past, but then remember that unfortunately it happened again this year. That we still have brothers and sisters that are deep underground in Gaza, that we daven for literally so many times a day. This year, I feel like I'm able to feel Tisha B'Av. I'm able to feel the 3 weeks so much more. Maybe we forgot what it means to be slaughtered. Maybe we forgot what it means to be prosecuted. And unfortunately, so many of our enemies around the world showed us and continue showing us what they want to do with us if they just can. We're not going to let them. We will once again grow strong, learn from our past, be resilient, and overcome every single challenge. The ashes that I'm holding in my hand were found here in the Ir David excavations. Ashes that literally came from the burning of Beit HaMikdash, the burning of the city of David. That at every single wedding, every groom, every chatan stands and they put some ashes on his forehead to remember how much we miss Beit HaMikdash, to remember how much Beit HaMikdash is supposed to be such an important part of our lives. And while, thank God, Yerushalayim is being built and so many Jews are coming home, there's so much more that we want to hope for, that we're praying for, and that Be'ezrat Hashem we're going to see very, very soon. I feel like it's the appropriate time to put some of these ashes אם אשכחך ירושלים תשכח ימיני תדבק לשוני אורי לחיקי אם לא אזכרכי. Our sages tell us that when Mashiach is going to come, he's going to stand right over here and he's going to tell the Jewish people, Anavim, modest people, the time for your redemption is here. Higia zman giulatchem. V'im ein atem ma'aminim. And if you don't believe me, then look at my light, God's light, that is shining on the Jewish people. There's going to be a time, our sages say, that we're going to have a rough time believing that we're worthy of Mashiach. And that's the time that our sages tell us we should look at ourselves. Look at the light that is shining upon us. Look at our soldiers. Look at our volunteers. Look at the Jewish people around the world and what we did this year. Look at the light of God, the light of the Jewish people that is shining more than ever. We have done so much for the Jewish people, so much for our soldiers, so much for our displaced families. We look forward to seeing Mashiach Tzidkenu standing up there, making a declaration that Mashiach is here. That stone that we see down there literally had the psukim on it that the Kohanim used to declare when the Jews used to come to Beit HaMikdash. It fell off that roof, down on the floor, and is waiting once again to be back up there. We're standing here at this unique spot as we look at Har HaZitim, the place where our forefathers, our rabbis and our leaders have been asked to be buried for millennia, because they know that the prophecy tells us that the Mount of Olives is going to crack into two, and anybody buried on Mount of Olives is going to be the first ones to follow Mashiach into Har HaBayit, into Temple Mount. And as we stand, look at Har HaZitim, the Mount of Olives, and we right behind us have Sha'ar HaChamim. And we sit with the burden of what we went through this past year. And we saw the ashes of Jews. And we still see our brothers and sisters that we can't see them because they're kidnapped in Gaza. And we have seen so many of our soldiers fight for the Jewish people and give their lives for the Jewish people. Right behind us is where Abraham, our forefather, was willing to sacrifice his son Isaac, Yitzchak. God, you looked at that moment and you said, wow, what a special people I'm going to have. People that are willing to sacrifice their son for the Jewish people just because I told them to. Well, God, we've sacrificed so many this past year. Avram offered one. We offered over 1,500. We had over hundreds of thousands of Jews come back to the land of Israel when war broke out and said, I'm here to defend the Jewish people. So many people volunteered to go put on their uniform and defend the Jewish people when it was the most dangerous moments. Is that not enough of a sacrifice? Are we not worthy of Mashiach to come through? Our soldiers are defending the Jewish people no matter what they look like. We're one unified people. Our sons, our fathers, our brothers-in-law, our nephews and nieces have taken upon themselves to defend the Jewish people this past year like never before. And they're doing it with tremendous courage, with a feeling of selflessness, because that's what the Jewish people are about. It's about understanding that we're one unified people. We're standing this Tisha B'Av like we haven't stood for a very long time. And we're begging Ribono Shel Olam, we're begging our Father in heaven. There's no better time than now. Please bring us Mashiach Tzidkenu now.
Amen.